this video, I will teach you how to play Healing Blade Defenders of Soma. I'll be using the 2nd edition, but if you have the 1st edition, the rules are pretty much the same. Let's get started. So here is the initial setup for the game. You have the Apothecary side here and the Pestilence side here. The Apothecary cards are shuffled. There are 8 turn marker coins. There are some shuffled Opportunist cards. There are shuffled Provoker cards. The Mutant cards don't need to be shuffled, and they are face up. You have your Villager cards. The Pregnant Villager, if you have the 2nd edition, that's only in the 2nd edition. And your Resistance cards, the colored cubes are only in the 2nd edition. And this is a little hard to see, but these two do have black cubes on them. One other thing we can do is you can use enchantments for the game. Those are these little cards. Now, for your first game, you probably should not use these. But I'm going to use them in the tutorial just so you understand how they work. They're optional, and they're ways of balancing the game if you feel like one player is more experienced or if one player has been losing more than the other. I'm going to give each side one of these enchantments. You could give someone 2 or 3, but we're going to do this. So the Apothecary gets the Research enchantment. You may turn this card face down when you do Research 3. Okay, so that's a little special power that Apothecary will have throughout the game. And the Pestilence side is going to get one, and they're getting the 9 turns. So we're actually going to add an extra turn. So a normal game would be 8 turns, but we're going to have a 9-turn game. What are we trying to do? The Pestilence side is trying to win by killing 3 villagers. These are the villagers. And we start off with 2 healthy and 1 wounded. And just to be clear, sometimes these have an ability that triggers when you flip it over. During the game setup, that is not considered a flip. It just starts out that way. So you would not get one of these benefits that has a little flippy sign on it. But this one says orange defenders cost 1 less in any zone. So we'll keep that rule in mind as long as that's on the board. Okay, Pestilence is trying to win by killing 3 villagers. It doesn't have to be these 3 villagers. You could kill one, a new one comes along, kill that one, a new one comes along, kill that one. The game immediately ends if Pestilence kills its 3rd villager. Apothecary is just trying to outlast. So there's a set number of turns. Normally it's 8. In this game it's 9. So if the game ends and Pestilence has not killed 3 villagers, then the Apothecary side wins. Before the game starts, we always draw 3 Provoker cards for the Pestilence side. And then we're going to begin the turn. So we begin the turn by taking a coin from the turn marker. So that tells us, and there's a little space left here, we're on turn 1. And you can keep track of the progress of the game that way. Make sure that if you get coins for any other reason, you don't take them from here. You got to take those from a separate supply that's off to the side. Okay? You only get these if it's the beginning of a turn. The Pestilence player already has 3 cards during game setup. And then for the rest of the game, the Pestilence player is going to draw 3 cards. You can draw from the Opportunist deck or the Provoker deck. The Opportunist cards can only attack a wounded player, a wounded villager, can only attack a wounded villager. So you don't usually draw those if there is no wounded villager. But since there is one right now, I'm going to draw 2 Opportunists and also 1 Provoker. That's what I think I want to do. The Apothecary side fills their hand up to 8 cards. So I started out with 0, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to fill up to 8. And what normally happens is at the end of your turn, you're going to discard down to 7 and fill up to 8. So it's a way of discard 1, draw 1. But sometimes Pestilence makes you discard cards, or Pestilence destroys some of your cards, and then you have fewer than 7. You might go down to like 5 cards, but you always fill up to 8. The other thing that's unusual about this game is that you play your cards and then they go back to your hand. You could play the same card over and over and over again, once every turn. Now, the way the flow of the game works is we go through a series of phases. We have the draw phase, which we just did. We have the attack planning phase, the defense planning phase, the battle resolution phase, and cleanup. We are now in the attack planning phase. So that's when the Pestilence player decides how to attack. The Pestilence player is allowed to play up to 3 cards a turn. You don't have to play 3, but up to 3. And each normal attacker can only go in one of these spots. However, if you have a plus, you can go into one of these spots if one of these spots is already full. That's called ganging up. The way you would do that is you might play like this and gang up like this. This has a plus, that can go in the plus area. What that means is that you cannot put two guys like this. You cannot gang up if one of them doesn't have a plus. When deciding how you can attack, you need to be aware of what the symbols are in the upper right corner. So take these cards as an example. This card has the black hood. That means it can attack a healthy villager only. This card has the black and the red. It means it can attack either. And this card has the red. It means it can only attack wounded villagers. This one also has a plus, which means it can gang up. This one does not have a plus. It cannot gang up. And this one has a plus. It can gang up. So during the attack planning phase, the pestilence player is deciding how they want to attack these villagers. I could attack like this. I could attack with 3 different guys like that. Or I could attack like that. Oh, here's another thing you could do. You could do attack that healthy one, and this one gangs up on a healthy. There's a bunch of different things I could do. And I like to play the cards upside down because these banners are very important for the apothecary player, understanding which cards they're allowed to play. Basically, the cards that Pestilence plays allow the apothecary player to play cards. So these colors and banners tell the apothecary player which antibiotics, which apothecary cards they are allowed to play to treat these pestilence, these lords of pestilence or infectious bacteria. Okay, so let me just show you how this works. We're just going to do a gameplay, and you can get the gist. All right, so that guy attacks there. This has an ability called non-virulent, which means that if it succeeds, it's going to flip this guy over to wounded, and then it's going to go away. A normal card will stay there and attack again to try and finish off the villager, but not the non-virulent ones. We'll just do this. We'll start with these 3. This one has the escape artist ability, which means that you look at all the banners and colors. Anything that is in brackets gives a reward of 1 coin whenever the apothecary player plays that exact card. Like this one says the pink 2, the red 1, or the black 7 would give a reward. So if they can play that exact card, it will kill this card and they'll get an extra coin as a reward because that's your first line of treatment. If you don't have one of those though, because you're an escape artist, it means you have to use 2 different colors, like say the yellow 3 and the blue 3, or you would need the green 3 and the black 5. You would need to use 2 different ones. And sometimes you have 1 in your hand, but you don't have 2, and so it's not good enough to kill it. This is based on the idea of an escape pathogen. Apothecary over here is going to look through their whole hand and decide what they're allowed to play. Now what they're looking for is if a card has a color but a little star in the middle, that means they can play anything of that color. So I don't have any pink, but if I had pink, I could play any of the pink cards to beat this. Then the rest of them tell you a specific number you would need. So over here, I would need the pink 2, which I would get a reward for, the dark blue 2 or the dark blue 3, the light blue 1, the orange 1, which I would get a reward for, the black 4, or the black 5, which I would get a reward for. So I'm looking at this, and I'm saying, yikes, I don't have any of the cards I need to beat that. So that guy is going to get through. But fortunately, he's non-virulent, so he is going to at least go away. This one, the escape artist, so I can beat this if I play the green 3 and the blue 3. That would be enough to kill that guy. I won't be able to also play the green 3 against this guy because I also have separate zones. And I can play as many defenders as I'm allowed. So this allows me to play up to 2 defenders. This one only allows 1 and this one only allows 1. Other things I can do are my default skills. So I could spend my coin to draw another card, see if I luck into something that can treat one of these. I could also spend my coin to prevent my plays from removing cubes. Because once you remove cubes from a card, the Pestilence player gets a resistance enchantment, which they can put on that, and it becomes a resistant bacteria, and it's much harder to treat. So I don't want that to happen either. But I only have one coin. Right now, I'm going to try and luck into another card. I draw. Hey, I got something I can use. Okay, great. So I got this one. Teacher is its special ability. So it's the dark blue 3, which I'm allowed to play because the dark blue 3 is shown on this banner. And it has an ability called Teacher. The next defender I play doesn't remove a cube. This is important because I don't want to remove those cubes. However, this one does remove a cube because it has a color that matches one of those. Not every card removes a cube, but the green, blues, yellows, pinks, whites, black 5, and black 6 remove a cube. So I play this, I remove a cube, but the next defender I play doesn't remove a cube. So I'm going to play this one, and I don't remove a green cube. Then I'm going to play this one, and it does remove a blue cube. Yikes, I've already removed 2 blue cubes. And that'll take care of that. And then I have no answer for this. So now we move to the battle resolution phase. This kills this. These 2 kill this because I have 2 different colors, and they're both listed on the card. And this one wounds this villager. It flips over, and then it has an ability that says choose a resistance card with at least 1 cube, add a cube to it. So that's great. So I'm going to add this blue one back. And that helped me a little bit. Cool. And that's why you have the extra cube that comes with the set, because sometimes you get this early in the game, and you can add this to any of those cards, this little gray cube. Okay. This one's going to stay here because I didn't kill it. So it's still attacking this villager. These cards that I did play are going to go back to my hand. And now I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards in my hand because I researched once, but I have to discard down to 7 at the end of the turn. So now I'm going to look at these. I'm going to say, I think I'm going to just get rid of this one. All right, I'm going to get rid of this one. And now I'm sort of happy because I have a nice variety of colors, which is a good strategy to have. Okay, so now we're going to start a new round. I'm going to get my turn marker coin for turn 2. I'm going to draw up to 8 cards. And the pestilence player over here is I'm going to do 3 more cards. I think I'm going to do this 2 and this 1 again. It is now the attack planning phase again. Here I'm going to do something that's only possible in the 2nd edition. But I am going to replace this female with the pregnant female, which you can only do during a planning phase. This says it cannot be defended by any greens or the black 5 or the black 6. So I can play 3 more cards. I'm going to tag it with a card that has a lot of greens and the black 6 on it. So the only way to defend this turn is if that site has a pink card. It needs a pink card or this one's going away. This also has the assassin ability. That'll come up later. I'm going to play this. This is a thief card. So when I play the thief, it triggers right away during the attack planning phase. We get a random card, and we get the light blue 3. Okay, ceftriaxone, pretty useful card. I'm glad I got that discarded. Then I get to play 1 more card. This one was already there. It stayed from last turn. I get to play 3 new cards, but it would have to go into the plus section because my front row is full. And sometimes you just can't play all 3 of your cards. Yeah, that's okay. All right, I'm going to play this one here. This one has the black 6 and the green 4, but this villager cannot be defended by any greens or the black 6. So I am down to 7 cards now because I was forced to discard 1. And I do not have a pink. So the wounded female is probably going to die. So I'm going to play this here. I am not going to pay to prevent resistance, so I will remove this green cube. And because it is in brackets, that green 2, I'm going to get an extra coin. So I'm going to play this green 3. And when I play this, I'm going to spend a coin to not remove that last green cube. And then we go to the battle resolution phase. This is going to kill this. This is going to kill this. And then these 2 are going to kill this villager. So we'll... This doesn't count as 2 villagers, it counts as 1 villager. So pick one of those cards as the one you claim as your trophy there. And these 2 cards actually had some abilities that might have triggered had they been killed. So this card has a mutant ability and an assassin ability. Both of those only trigger if it gets killed. It did not get killed. This one also has an assassin ability and it did not get killed. So these two, we're going to retire them because they succeeded, but they did not get killed, so it does not trigger those abilities at all. Then these are going to go back to my hand. I still have them. And we're going to put a new healthy villager here. That is the end of that round. Now we start a new turn. I get my coin. There's still some wounded, so I think I'll do 1 opportunist and 2 provokers here this time. Now we are in the attack planning phase. I know that that player has tons of greens. Unfortunately, I have a lot of cards that can be defeated with greens. This time I'm going to attack with Typhoid, which is contagious. If I wound this, that gets wounded too. I'm going to attack with Acinetobacter, and Nocardia is going to gang up because it has a plus. That's going to be my attack for that round. Oh, I forgot to draw a card during the step, so I'm going to draw my 8th card. I'm at 8 cards. So this has the expensive ability, which means if I play cards in this zone, I have to pay a coin. So I'm going to play Mirapenem here. Mirapenem is a mercenary and costs a coin to play. And then because of Nocardia being expensive, I pay another coin. So I had to spend 2 coins just to play here. Then I can also gang up with my green 3. The green 3 and the red 3 are both shown here. So this is going to kill the escape artist because the escape artist requires 2 things unless you play the right one in brackets. And this red 3 is also shown here, so it's going to kill that one. The green is also shown there, so this guy will die from the ones I played here. I don't need to play more. I would have been allowed to play a 3rd one, because you can play 2 to play this and 1 of that, but you're not allowed to play unnecessary extra defenders. Now this one over here, I'm out of money, but I can play the Azithro, and that's going to remove a white cube. And then our battle resolution. Typhoid dies, and Typhoid has a mutation into XDR Typhoid. So that's going to go away, and then we're going to go get our first mutant card. We're going to look through to get the named one, XDR Typhoid, and it's going to add it to the Pestilence player's hand. And in this way, the Pestilence player's hand will grow, and they will get more and more cards as the game goes on. Acinetobacter dies. Nothing special happens there. Nocardia dies. Nothing special happens there. Okay, so I saved all my villagers. These cards go back to my hand. I have to discard one of these. I will discard, the green 4. Start our new turn. Turn 4, I get my coin. I draw my new card. I'm still remembering that I have the ability to research 3 if I'm in a real tight spot, but I'm going to save that. The Pestilence player is going to draw 2 opportunists and 1 provoker. I'm going to play E. coli here. That has the Banisher ability. I'm going to decide, I'm going to play these 2 here. This one is ganging up. I can pick something on this card that cannot be played this round. So for the Banisher ability, I'm going to choose the light blue 4. I don't know if he has the light blue 4, but if he did, he would get a reward. So I'm just going to say you can't play the light blue 4. This also has a duo, which is if they can play a light blue 4 and any yellow, they get 3 coins. So I really don't want them to get the coins. Defense planning comes up. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play this white 1. I have the option to pay a coin to research 3, which would be great, but I need that coin for something else. So this is going to remove the white cube. Then I'm going to play this red 3, which costs me a coin. And then I'm going to play the white 3, because the white cubes are already removed. The white 3 is going to kill this. The white 1's going to kill this. And the red 3 is going to kill this. Great. They all go away. These guys are saved. But all 3 go and get mutants. So problems are only starting here. This one goes and gets MRSE. This one goes and gets ESBL E. coli. It's a mouthful. And this one gets ESBL Kleb. So those go into the Pestilence player's hand for next turn. And these come back to my hand. So I have to discard one of these lovely cards. And I'm going to get rid of that white 1. And we're going to start a new turn. I'm going to get my coin. I'm going to get my card. The Pestilence player is going to draw 3 more. 1 opportunist and 2 provokers this time. Also, I now have this macrolide resistance card. So I am very excited to play macrolide resistant pertussis on this guy. So this normally can defended by whites, pinks, and the black 5, but the whites are out now. And if they do find a pink, I'm going to make sure that it gets killed. So I'm going to attack with an assassin card because that's what assassin cards can do. I think I'm going to attack like this. So contagious, if it succeeds, it's going to also get that one. And this has the assassin ability, so if Haemophilus gets killed, then I can kill one of the defenders. Okay, defense planning. I would really like to play this here, but that macrolide resistance is going to stop me. But I can play it over there, so that's good. So I'll be playing that there. So I am going to play vancomycin here. This is a mercenary, it costs me a coin. Here's what happens. This kills this, and this has a mutant that it goes and gets. I get to choose ARE or VRE. I'm definitely going to choose VRE because it died to vancomycin, and VRE is vancomycin resistant. So I'm going to go get that card. That goes away. This one dies, and because it dies, I get to assassinate any of the defenders that are on the table. So I'm going to get rid of that vancomycin, and this is going to go back to my hand. This pertussis was successful, and it's contagious, which means it's going to flip this over, and this says gain a money, so I'm going to gain a money. Remember, don't get it from the turn markers, get it from the general supply. And it's going to flip this one over. Pestilence discards a random card to the biohazard. Oh, okay, so we get to make a Pestilence discard a card. The Necromancer, well, that's interesting, all right. But now I'm in a terrible, terrible, terrible situation, which is that all my villagers are wounded. One hit from anybody will kill them. And it looks like I'm probably going to lose this game, but maybe I'll get lucky with some research here. We're going to start a new turn. I get my coin. Now I have 2 coins. I draw a card. Since everybody's wounded, I'm going to take these last 2 opportunists and a provoker. I have a whole bunch of cards now. One thing I should note is this resistance to white antibiotics card is stuck on this card, so I can't move it this turn. But once this guy's gone, I will get it back and I can play it on a new person. Yeah, this is pretty good. All right, we're going to attack like this, this, and this. Escape artist, escape artist, escape artist, and contagious. Or contagious already happened. So escape artist, escape artist, escape artist. Back on the apothecary side, I'm feeling pretty nervous. So I'm going to use my special ability that we did at the beginning of the game. I'm going to research 3, draw 3 more cards. 1, 2, 3. I finally got a pink, so that's something. Well, that one's definitely going there. And it's going to remove a pink cube. I don't have 2 cards that can beat that, but I do have 1 card that can beat that. It's in brackets, so I'm going to play it here. I'm allowed to because it's there, and it's going to cost me a coin, but it's also going to give me a coin back. So I'm going to spend 1 and then get 1 back. It's these 2 that are giving me a hard time. So this one says, the next defender you play doesn't remove a cube, and that will be the green one, so I won't remove that green cube. This guy's taken care of. Now it's just this guy is the only guy I have left. Now we're going to just try and get lucky. Here we go. I'm going to use my default skill to draw a card. Hey, so I drew the black 12. I'm close, but I still need something to help me survive here. So here's my last whiff off the top. No. Helps me with that one, but not that one. Thanks for watching the video, everyone. If you have any additional questions, there are forums on Board Game Geek, and also you can just email me directly, brandon@nerdcoremedical.com.